Hello and thanks for joining us on the news at 10 on NTA News 24. I am Norlene Ebel Ame. Let's take the headlines. President Tinubu signs landmark investment law proposing 10-year jail term for Ponzi schemes promoters.
The days of Ponzi, insider trading, and market manipulations are over.
INEC rejects recall petition against Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, falls short by 29,146 signatures. First Lady Oluremi Tinubu declares Africa Women's Volleyball Championship open. Former NYSC Director General and 18 others rescued from kidnappers.
We should all know that security is a collective responsibility.
And here is the news. A minimum of 10-year jail term and 20 million naira fine now awaits those found guilty of promoting Ponzi schemes in Nigeria. This follows the signing by President Tinubu of the Investment and Securities Bill 2024. Other highlights of the law, as explained by the Chairman Senate Committee on Capital Market, Senator Osita Izunaso, include the recognition of cryptocurrency as a form of security in Nigeria, and this will enable Nigerians to trade in digital assets under the regulation of the Securities and Exchange Commission to ensure transparency and protect investors.
Market manipulations are over. Today, if you are caught in a Ponzi market arrangement, you have a risk of going to jail for 10 years and also pay a fine of over 20 million naira to 40 million naira. And all the money that you took from people will also be recovered from you. It's an economic sabotage not only for the country, but also for the people involved.
Investment and Securities Law is a game changer as it will strengthen the capital and money markets to enable Nigeria achieve the $1 trillion economy and positioning Nigeria as the investment destination in Africa. The Act also requires all public companies to obtain approval from SEC before mergers, acquisitions, or issuing securities to promote transparency and ensure compliance with best global practices. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has denied issuing a circular announcing introduction of 5,000 naira and 10,000 naira notes, dismissing the claim as false. The purported circular, which is spread widely on WhatsApp, was debunked by the Apex Bank in a statement released via its official handle on X, formerly Twitter. The fake document, falsely attributed to the CBN, claimed the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has officially announced the introduction of two new denominations, 5,000 naira and 10,000 naira banknotes, as part of ongoing efforts to streamline cash transactions and improve liquidity management. In other news, Vice President Kashim Shettima has arrived to Dakar, Senegal, to represent President Bola Tinubu at the country's 65th Independence Day anniversary celebrations. The Vice President's attendance at the annual event is in honor of an invitation extended to President Tinubu by the Senegalese President Bassirou Diomaye Faye, following the strong mutual relationship between Nigeria and Senegal. The Independence Day celebrations will be held at the Place de la Nation in Dakar, with President Faye playing host to Vice President Shettima and other distinguished guests from across Africa and beyond. The Vice President is expected to return to Nigeria after the one-day event. Abuja, Nigeria's capital city, now enjoys digital twin and smart city technology following its large-scale mapping by Office of the Surveyor General of the Federation. Kunle Adeyeye reports that the Surveyor General Adeyemi Adebomehi also announced that other cities and towns in Nigeria will eventually be incorporated into these services.
With an obsolete mapping system, it is now inevitable to recalibrate it in the Federal Capital Territory. This is unarguably a Herculean task, but painstakingly executed with the Office of the National Security Advisor, the Nigerian Air Force, and other agencies. The deployment of high-resolution drone has birthed a good satellite imagery for the capital city and will ultimately complement security situation and project its image better internationally.
As technology progresses in the world, I don't think we Nigeria, as giants of Africa, we should be left behind. We have had, if you have not seen, there are some countries that we already have autonomous vehicles. One day we want that to work in our cities here in Abuja. And for that to run, we need this type of infrastructure running, very large-scale topographical map, which is a foundation for digital twin. And digital twin is a foundation for smart city. And without a smart city, we cannot run autonomous vehicles.
To the Surveyor General of the Federation, deployment of this cutting-edge technology has given the Federal Capital Territory a unique status among cities in Africa.
What we did was to combine this with street view mapping mosaicing. We were not able to show that. We equally did that. And over 90,000, we were able to cover that too. So it's a massive work. It's a massive work. So we enter collaboration both locally and internationally. But when you talk of digital twin, this is the first time we are deploying it in Africa.
This feat has incorporated Nigeria into the Open Geospatial Consortium, an international voluntary consensus standards organization that develops and maintains international standards for geospatial content and location-based services. Kunle Adeyeye, NTA News.
Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has debunked the rumor making the rounds that he collapsed and was flown to France. The minister dismissed the rumor during an inspection tour of some ongoing projects ahead of inauguration. Onoze Yakubu has details.
The screeching ambience of construction equipment at various project sites visited is all in a bid to deliver on schedule, marking the second anniversary of President Tinubu's administration with another set of projects is on the mind of the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike, as he inspected the ongoing critical infrastructure projects earmarked for inauguration. While expressing satisfaction with the quality and level of work, the minister dismissed the rumor making the rounds that he collapsed and was flown to France, describing it as a blackmail by those who want to earn cheap political gain.
Very much impressed with the contractors handling these projects. Very much impressed, and you can attest to the fact that this is a quality job being carried out. I've said before that we are going to inaugurate so many of these projects in Mr. President's second year anniversary. There was not a time I collapsed, there was not a time anybody took me over. But you see me every day. The day Mr. President broke iftar during his birthday, I was there. The next day, I led Abuja residents to play Salah Beach. And see all those stories just died down. This is the politics. We have thick skin. Those who don't bother us. We are not distracted. We are focused on our job. So I thank Nigerians for being, for really worried that it should be. But people should not wish their fellow human beings such a thing to happen. We know that we will die one day. nobody will remain in this world forever. But it's only God that says the day you will die, not any human being to say you will die today or you will die tomorrow. So nobody has said, you have seen that. I'm very happy that most of them will be because I will write their condolence letters. I can assure you that I write their condolence letters.
The projects inspected include the interchange at Nikon Junction connecting Maitama with Gishiri District, the Judges' Quarters, and other arterial routes, as well as the International Conference Center, where works have reached advanced stages of completion. Onoze Yakubu, NT News.
And on court proceedings in the matter between Senator Natasha and the Nigerian Senate, the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court, Justice John Tehemba Tsoho, has reassigned the case to Justice Binta Nyako. Correspondent Delia Tumbi reports that the suit is ready for mention this Friday, April 4. The case is starting de novo. This implies it is starting afresh. Meanwhile, INEC has concluded the verification of signatures on the petition to recall Senator Natasha, representing Kogi Central Senatorial District. The Commission notes that total number of registered voters in the senatorial district is 474,554. Across the 902 polling units in 57 registration areas and 5 local government areas that make up the senatorial district, the Commission ascertained 208,132 signatures and thumbprints from the submission made by the petitioners. This translates to 43.86% of the registered voters, which falls short of the constitutional requirement by 29,146 signatories. This shows the petition has not met the requirement of Section 69A of the Constitution. Statement by INEC National Commissioner for Information, Sam Olomilekon, therefore says no further action shall be taken on the recall of the senator. As promised, rural dwellers in the 9 states of the Niger Delta are set to benefit from interventions in the health and education sectors, birthed by collaboration between Renewed Hope Initiative and Niger Delta Development Commission. Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu set the ball rolling in Utuasega, Bayelsa State, which with the flag off of free medical outreach and launch of a health insurance scheme for vulnerable people in the region. State House correspondent Adeni Tayo reports.
With much excitement and joy, residents of Otuasega in Ogbia local government area of Bayelsa State trooped out to receive the First Lady Oluremi Tinubu to their community, all set to inaugurate key projects undertaken by the Niger Delta Development Commission in collaboration with the Renewed Hope Initiative. First is the flag-off of a free medical outreach by the Commission, which saw the donation of 11 ambulances and personal protective gears to selected hospitals in the region, inauguration of Cottage Hospital, Community Secondary School Otuasega, and distribution of textbooks, school benches and desks.
Transfer. Today, the medical outreach program, which I was told is conducted quarterly, aimed to deliver essential health services directly to the community. It will address common health issues, provide preventive care, and raise awareness about health concerns that disproportionately affect rural residents, particularly in the area of maternal and child health. This contribution will significantly aid in saving lives and ensure that the various communities receive prompt medical attention when needed.
Then follows the launch of a health insurance scheme for rural dwellers in the zone.
To the good people of Bayelsa State and the entire Niger Delta region, this is your program. I encourage you to take full advantage of the various interventions, safeguard them, and continue to support efforts that will enhance development in your communities.
We cannot play politics with the development of our region. If we all love our region, if we all love our states, then we have no alternative but to partner and collaborate. And for today, we have a daughter of the region who is in the villa. And so what better opportunities do we have more than this?
I wish to call on the governors of the Niger Delta region to collaborate with NDDC and other regional development commissions that we should be in place.
With the 25th anniversary of the commission around the corner, the strings of intervention is timely and a fitting fruit of its collaboration.
Hence, our series of commissions in this period, and also all our programs are embedded under the dividends of Renewed Hope Initiative.
Earlier, at a meeting with Bayelsa State Traditional Rulers Council, the first lady harped on the need for leaders to always put the people first and solicited the support of traditional rulers for RHI advocacy in health. From Yenagoa in Bayelsa State, Adeniyi Taiwo, NTA News.
This is the news at 10 on NTA News 24. Still ahead, court strikes out suit against Lagos Calabar Coastal Road project. Stay tuned.
Celebrate Ramadan with Bafi and enjoy up to 40% off on selected products from living room, dining room, bedroom, and royal sets. Pay less, save more, and refresh your home for iftar gatherings and cherished moments with family and friends. Visit our showrooms in Abuja, Lagos, Kano, and Enugu, or shop online to enjoy our exclusive Ramadan sale. Let's make this Ramadan unforgettable.
Thank you for staying with us on the news at 10 on NTA News 24. Urgent need to continuously support growth opportunities for women and the girl child across Africa is the thrust of the African Women's Summit in Abuja. Thomas Obetere reports that over 200 women and girls were empowered at the event.
The African Women's Summit brought together women and girls from diverse backgrounds and industries to discuss pressing issues, share experiences, and empower one another. The engagement is to also advocate for policies that support gender equality.
And anyhow we see fit to empower the woman and the girl child, we do that. Like today we'll be launching the mentorship program for 200 young girls where they'll be mentored for 1 year by 20 women.
So we really want to come and open their eyes for them to understand that they can do so much. That being a woman or being a girl is not supposed to limit you.
And we'll join hands together with them to make sure that Nigerian girls are empowered. Women in Nigeria are empowered. Nigerian girls are educated.
So with this summit, at the end of the day, every girl child here or out there will know that they have a lot of potentials and they don't need to be victimized or intimidated.
Speakers encouraged Nigerian women to challenge stereotypes, speak up, prioritize their health, and strive to become entrepreneurs with the mindset that there is no limit to self-development.
So they are going to be financially independent and, of course, gain confidence and be able to also contribute to the economic development of this nation.
I believe this event is a great opportunity for us women to change the world.
African women are very smart, very intelligent, and have a lot of potential.
The mega summit themed Africa Rising, harnessing the potentials of women and the girl child for sustainable development, was also aimed at protecting the rights of women and creating a fair and just society where every girl child has the opportunity to attain full potentials. In Abuja, Thomas Ogbetere, NTA News.
In other news, the World Bank has approved 3 operations in Nigeria totaling $1.08 billion in concessional financing to enhance education quality, build household and community resilience, as well as improve nutrition for underserved groups. This includes $500 million in additional financing for the Nigeria Community Action for Resilience and Economic Stimulus (NGKS) program, $80 million for accelerating nutrition results in Nigeria (ANRIN 2.0), and $500 million for Hope for Quality Education for All (Hope Edu). Statement by the bank released Wednesday says the NGKS program will support the government in expanding access to livelihood support, food security services, and grants for poor and vulnerable households and communities. The financing for ANRIN aims to increase the utilization of quality and cost-effective nutrition services for pregnant women and lactating mothers, adolescent girls and children under 5 in select areas, while the new financing for Hope Edu will focus on improving foundational learning, access to basic education, and strengthening education systems in the participating states. The Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority has expressed concern on several complaints about airlines selling tickets to passengers only to airlift them halfway to their destinations and deport them back to Nigeria. These actions, which involve the refusal of boarding and entry at intermediate and transit stops to some Nigerians due to visa and travel restrictions, are causing significant distress to passengers and tarnishing the reputation of the aviation industry in Nigeria. In statement, the Director, Consumer Protection and Public Affairs of the authority, Michael Achimogu, says, in line with the provisions of Nigeria's civil aviation regulations, all airlines and their agents shall ensure that passengers are informed of any potential admissibility issues or travel restrictions in advance of their departure. He also said airlines must take appropriate measures to screen and provide passengers with accurate, up-to-date information regarding their travel documents and visa requirements before issuing a ticket and proceeding to board them. In light of this, the NCAA informs all international airlines operating in Nigeria that the authority will no longer tolerate these occurrences. The statement further stated that, effective immediately, any airline found to be engaged in such practices will be subject to regulatory action, including but not limited to fines, suspension of flight operations, or other measures deemed appropriate. The NCAA expects the cooperation of all airlines in maintaining the integrity and professionalism of the aviation industry, as well as ensuring the well-being of Nigerian passengers. The Lagos State Governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, has apologized to Lagos residents for the April 2 gridlock that left motorists and commuters stranded for long hours following the closure of the Independence Bridge for repairs. The governor gave the apology during a visit to the site of the ongoing rehabilitation of the bridge. Joken Abakboya has details.
For nearly 24 hours on the 2nd of April 2025, traffic was at a standstill at Victoria Island and the Ikoyi axis of Lagos State. The gridlock that spilled over to other areas of the state caused untold hardship to the motoring public. Taking responsibility for the inconvenience, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu blames the situation on inadequate communication on the part of government and the people's rush to return to work after the holidays.
You know, the reality on ground is that we need to get to fix this road, do this problem, solve this problem once and for all, you know, because I do not want to be held accountable for a disaster that might still happen further down the line.
Governor Sanwo-Olu says the contract for the repairs of the bridge has been awarded for the past 3 years, regretting that the immediate reopening of the bridge may not be possible.
If you don't need to come out at 7 o'clock, wait till 10 o'clock. Let the people that need to come out at 7 o'clock come out. You defer your time 2-3 hours, so they can see that even the approach from Marina to Victoria Island is free. There's no, on the counter on this bridge, there is no movement at all. We're also thinking of another alternative. Can we do a counter flow from here? We're looking at that. They also need a lot of excavation. We're going to break a lot of things, and we don't know if that also will be fully effective, but we'll consider that in the next 1 or 2 days and see.
He, however, promises that work will be sped up and more traffic officials deployed to the area to ease the situation. Barring any changes, the Independence Bridge is expected to be closed for 1 month. In Lagos, Joy Ken Abakboya, NT News.
Elsewhere, the Federal High Court sitting in Lagos has struck out a lawsuit challenging the construction of the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Road. The presiding judge, Justice Akintayo Olokun, gave the order in the suit filed by members of the Okun Aja community and property owners in Etisa Osa local government area. The court struck out the matter due to lack of jurisdiction. The plaintiffs sought to block the project and secure damages for the alleged land infringement. The defendants in the case, including Minister of Works Dave Umahi, High Tech Construction Limited, and other government agencies, opposed the lawsuit, stating that the Federal High Court was not the appropriate court as it lacked jurisdiction over the matter. They argued that the matter should be heard in the High Court of Lagos State as it involved state-owned land. Justice Aloku agreed with the defendants, stating that the Federal High Court lacked jurisdiction over the case. He cited Section 22, subsection 2 of the Federal High Court Act, which allows for transferring of cases to the appropriate state court. The lawsuit was therefore remitted to the High Court of Lagos State for further hearing. Talking security now, troops of the Nigerian Armed Forces have rescued more 44 kidnapped victims in the last 7 days in different parts of the country. The Director, Defense Media Operations, Major General Marcus Kange, announced this at the Defense Headquarters Abuja during the bi-weekly news conference on ongoing military operations in various theaters of operations. Within the period under review, several terrorists and bandits kingpins were either arrested or eliminated in different combat operations. Similarly, 128 dug-out pits, 192 boats, 138 storage tanks, and 122 illegal refining sites were discovered and destroyed by troops of Operation Delta Safe. Meanwhile, the National Security Advisor, Malam Nuhu Ribadu, has commended President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for providing the enabling environment for the military and security agencies to thrive. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports that the NSA gave the commendation while receiving 19 rescued victims, including the former Director General of the NYSC, Maharazu Tsiga.
Climb this step. It is all the salt and the beating and the rest of them that they gave us.
72-year-old former DG NYSC narrating his ordeal in the hands of kidnappers who held him hostage alongside these 18 victims. The retired military general who was abducted from his home in Thiga, Bakuri local government area in Katsina State 56 days ago commended the security operatives for their efforts.
We should all know that security is a collective responsibility. We should not sit down and believe that the government can do it alone.
These 18 other rescued, including a former ambassador, were abducted from different parts of Kaduna State.
On behalf of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu,
We are grateful to our armed forces. We are grateful to the security services for the work you are doing. We'll go after the bad ones. This is not the end of the story. These people are rescued, but those perpetrators will pay for it.
Yeah. I want to especially thank the NSA for providing that platform for all the members of the armed forces and other security agencies to work properly in synergy. And this comes especially from the mandate of Mr. President, who has provided the needed resources to all those who don't mean us well, that will not allow them sleep well.
The Chief of Defense Staff enjoined Nigerians to cooperate with security agencies by providing intelligence report. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
In the meantime, the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, has inaugurated a committee to organize a regional security conference that will be attended by Chiefs of Defense Staff of African countries. The Chief of Defense Staff notes that the summit, which will take place in Abuja, is expected to strengthen cooperation, enhance defense ties, and Nigeria's leadership in military diplomacy across the continent.
For Nigeria as a leading force in Africa's defense and security landscape. As such, your efforts will lay the foundation for a summit meant to strengthen cooperation, enhance defense ties, and Nigeria's leadership in military diplomacy across the continent. This summit has to be a grand and remarkable event, one befitting of Nigeria's status as a continental giant. It will bring together military leaders from across Africa, and we must ensure that it reflects our nation's excellence, strength, and organizational prowess.
It's about time that African defense chiefs begin to speak to themselves. And this creates the platform for this to begin.
Is to upscale intelligence sharing in the ongoing quest to further secure the region. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Air Force has announced the appointment of Air Commodore Ehimen Ejo Dame as its new spokesperson. He takes over from Air Vice Marshal Olushola Akimboewa, who previously held the position. A statement by the Deputy Director, Public Relations and Information, Group Captain Kabir Ali, indicates that Air Commodore Ejo Dame is a seasoned officer with vast experience in logistics, strategic planning, and defense management. He is a member of the 45th regular course of the Nigerian Defense Academy. His appointment is expected to further enhance NAF's public relations and strategic communication efforts, reinforcing the service's commitment to professionalism and transparency. This is the news at 10 on NTA News 24. Still ahead. South Korea's Constitutional Court removes President Yoon Suk-yeol from office.
I am Oluremi Tinubu, the global and national Stop TB champion. Many people have asked why I've chosen to champion the fight against a disease like tuberculosis. My reason stems from a deep personal experience. I once had a friend who unfortunately fell ill and concealed the nature of his sickness until it was too late. Eventually, after he passed, we discovered he had tuberculosis. Sadly, due to the stigma and discrimination surrounding the disease, he would not speak up or seek for help. His death was a painful reminder that we could have intervened and saved a life if only we had known earlier. Tuberculosis is an airborne disease that primarily affects the lungs, but can also impact other parts of the body. Being airborne means anyone, regardless of their social economic status, can contract it. In Nigeria, one person dies of TB-related illness every 7 minutes, amounting to 206 deaths every day. Globally, one person succumbs to TB every 25 seconds, which is a staggering 3,456 lives lost daily. These deaths are entirely preventable because TB is curable if detected and treated early. If you or someone you know has been coughing for 2 weeks or more, coughing up blood, experiencing night sweats, or losing weight drastically, it might be TB. Please visit the nearest government hospital or primary healthcare center for proper diagnosis and treatment. TB treatment is free in all government and some private health facilities. Let us also remember not to stigmatize or discriminate against TB patients or those who have been treated for TB. Individuals who have been cured of TB cannot infect others. I call on all stakeholders, especially the private sector, to join us in the fight to end TB in Nigeria. Together, we can make a difference. Remember, TB anywhere is TB everywhere. End TB by 2030. Yes, we can.
Thank you for staying with us on the news at 10 on NTN News 24. And talking safety now, the Federal Road Safety Corps FRSC has described as fake a viral fabricated video interview suspected to be AI generated circulating on social media space, purportedly showing the Corps Public Education Officer, Assistant Corps Marshal Olusegun Ogungbemidi, speaking on security actions allegedly undertaken by FRSC regarding the alleged assassination of one Kingsley Ekweme. The Corps says the video is entirely false, misleading, and fabricated, as it did not issue any statement or comment on any alleged assassination, and the Corps Public Education Officer did not participate in any video or interview regarding the matter, as the Corps does not operate outside its statutory mandate. The Corps, however, wishes to urge the public to disregard the video and be cautious of fake news and misinformation. Nigeria's move towards rehabilitation of drug addicts has received a boost with a handover of a facility renovated at Aminu Kano Teaching Hospital. Hadiza Muhammad reports that the Rehabilitation Center, inaugurated by the Economic Committee of West African States, further strengthened the ability of the health facility to carry out the responsibility of rehabilitation and reintegration, especially in its catchment area.
Kano is rated among the Nigerian states with the highest number of drug addicts. In addition to fight against drug abuse in the state, rehabilitation has always been at the center. However, the facilities to carry out this important task are minimal, which affects the rehabilitation efforts. As a step towards bridging the gap, Economic Community of West African States has stepped in with the handover of the facility it renovated in the Aminu Kano Teaching Hospital.
With this expansion, it's an opportunity now to start full rehabilitation of the patients that are afflicted and treated with drug addictions.
People now coming out to seek for help. I'm talking about either drug-dependent persons or their families that are coming out day in, day out, based on the fact that a lot of awareness has been created in their minds.
We started it as a pilot, and now that we have seen that it's making a huge impact and it's so good, and we will be able to we will expand it and even do better.
The facility, which is the first of its kind, provides a comprehensive plan that addresses the physical, psychological, and social aspect of addiction. It is also equipped with skills acquisition and incorporates mental health service facilities aimed at improving recovery process. In Kano, Hadiza Muhammad, NTA News.
Leaders of the Afro-Arab Youth Council, a non-governmental organization strengthening youth ties between Africa and the Arab world, converged on Abuja in celebration of African youth. The event also featured commissioning of research buildings and a guest room for the youth. Suleiman Abdul Wahab reports.
Whenever you give appreciation on what Allah has given to you in blessings or bounties, Allah will multiply it.
The gathering aimed to encourage youth by promoting cooperation, peace, stability, cultural exchange, and shared value between regions. Ambassador Mukhtar Ademola, West African Regional Coordinator of the Afro-Arab Youth Council, commended stakeholders for their contributions to national development.
He's been able to put the youth in Abuja and North Central together to see that all of the government initiatives that benefit the youth, he communicates it to them.
And every young person, to encourage you to keep being consistent at what you're doing, persisting, and also be truthful at your cause. The sky will be your limit.
While Director General of the Committee of Youth on Mobilization and Sensitization urged youth to avoid spreading fake news as it harms the nation.
So the young people and Nigerians in particular, they should desist from fake news because it has a way of bringing the economy down.
This unveiling marked the opening of guest room and research center for foreign youth.
Most significantly, we have also commissioned somewhere where we can call our own, where people can freely come upon that you are a Nigerian and you are within the youthful age. You can come here freely and study, stay, in as much that you have legitimate business. And that's why we are also appreciating the government of FCT, the government of Kwara State, and the DGNTA for being part of this success.
To commission the building. So I will take the scissors and we will all recite Surah Al-Fatiha.
The event also highlighted joint projects between African and Arab nations in technology, education, sports and entrepreneurship. In Abuja, Suleiman Tobu Abdul Wahab, NT News.
President Bola Tinubu has been commended for what has been described as his strategic appointments, particularly the new management team of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL. At a media briefing in Abuja, the NYCN applauded the president's visionary leadership in engaging the best minds to take Nigeria to the next level. The NYCN urges the newly constituted NNPCL management team to prioritize resolving challenges surrounding crude oil supply to local refineries, addressing industry stakeholders' concerns, and ensuring Nigeria's energy security. The NYCN also condemned the recent killings in Uromi, Edo State, and commended Governor Monday Okpebholo for his proactive steps in addressing the situation.
We call on the newly constituted management team to hit the ground running, ensuring they deliver on the mandate of Mr. President. A stable and transparent petroleum sector will have a multiplier effect on the economy, creating jobs, fostering industrialization, and strengthening our nation's global economic standing. The youth of Nigeria, as it stands today, are ready to support the new leadership of the NNPCL and all stakeholders in the petroleum sector to ensure that Nigeria gets maximum value for its resources.
The governor of Edo State, Senator Monday Okpebholo, says he describes the prayer of the people of Edo in piloting the affairs of the state as he appeals to the palace of the Oba of Benin for continuous prayers and support. This was when he visited at the palace of the Oba of Benin, Ewere II, during hours after the Edo State Election Petitions Tribunal ruled in his favor. Goodluck Inaine reports that his deputy, Dennis Idahosa, and APC stalwarts accompanied him on the visit.
Governor Paulo arrived at Benin Airport, where he was received by supporters of the party who accompanied him to the palace of the Oba of Benin in a procession that lasted for an hour. While at the palace, Governor Paulo said his decision to make the palace his first point of call after the ruling is in demonstration of the regards the administration has for the palace as the custodian of culture and tradition of the Benin Kingdom. He seeks for prayers to enable him govern in the fear of God, describing the victory as a win for all.
To thank you for the love that you have shown and the love that the people have shown us.
Oba Ewaye II, who was to embark on a working visit to the United Arab Emirates, says the journey had to be postponed as a mark of respect for the governor. He described the ruling as a victory for Edo. He assures the governor of the support of the palace and urged him to sustain the temple in delivering dividends of democracy to the people.
We thank you very much, Your Excellency, for deeming it fit to bring the victory to your father. I accept your coming here today.
For the first time, the Oba left the comfort of his seat and walked towards the governor and pronounced royal blessings on him and his cabinet. In Benin, Goodluck Enaini, NT News.
The national leadership of the People's Democratic Party has rejected the ruling of the Edo State Governorship Election Petition Tribunal, describing it as a miscarriage of justice. The party expresses concerns over the tribunal's decision to dismiss its petition despite what it described as overwhelming evidence of electoral malpractice in the 21st September 2024 governorship election. In a statement issued by its National Publicity Secretary, Debo Ologunagba, the PDP insists that its candidate, Dr. Asue Ihodalo, won the election with the highest number of valid votes but was denied a victory through manipulations. The tribunal on 2nd April 2025 dismissed Ihodalo's petition seeking to nullify the 21st September 2024 governorship election over alleged irregularities. The PDP reaffirms its confidence in the judiciary, announcing that it will challenge the tribunal's decision at the Court of Appeal, where it expects a more conscientious judicial review of the matter. Fire has engulfed the Northwest University building at Kofar Nasarawa, Kano. As at the time this report was sent, the cause of the fire was unclear and emergency responders were on site. Now, to drive tourism and investment by attracting policy makers, investors and international audiences, the Plateau State upcoming Art for Fashion exhibition show in Abuja seek to unlock new economic opportunities not only for Plateau State but Nigeria in general. Alika Okpanachi Arua reports.
Conference held at the Plateau State Government House and attended by organizers, designers, models and other stakeholders of the event revealed that the event will feature musical performances, food presentation, arts and fashion display with focus on promoting the rich cultural heritage of the Plateau people and Nigeria in general.
We will present the world with a fresh, inspiring narrative of our state. 2. Elevate the Godo fabric as a symbol of North Central Nigeria's rich textile heritage. We aim to position Godo alongside globally recognized fabrics.
In agriculture, Plateau State has one of the biggest farms in producing quail eggs. That is a place that people can come and look at. And in tourism, we have so many beautiful places, hospitality business, which we are calling the people to come back.
The organizers believe the event will help to promote made-in-Nigerian products and create job opportunities. In Abuja, Alika Opanachi, Arua, NTA News.
South Korea's Constitutional Court has officially removed President Yoon Suk-yeol from office, in concluding a month-long political crisis triggered by his controversial declaration of martial law and deployment of troops to parliament. The ruling, delivered unanimously, follows the National Assembly's decision more than 3 months ago to impeach Yoon. The president's move in December to send armed forces into the legislative chamber in a bid to break a political deadlock shocked the nation and ignited widespread protests, according to the court. The president's actions amount to serious violations of the constitution. Reports say South Korea is expected now to organize a national election within 2 months to elect a new president. Top women's volleyball clubs have begun battle for the top prize at the 2025 Africa Women's Volleyball Club Championship in Abuja after it was declared open by First Lady Oluremi Tinubu. While charging participants to compete clean, the First Lady also challenged them to take advantage of the championship to make their mark in the sport. Francisca Bile tells us more.
The indoor sports hall of the Moshood Abiola National Stadium has come alive with the 2025 African Women's Volleyball Club Championship taking center stage. The event, which will see 16 teams compete for honors, was officially declared open by Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu, who is the grand patron of the championship.
I warmly invite you to explore our beautiful capital city of Abuja and experience the rich cultural heritage and renowned hospitality that Nigeria has to offer. From our vibrant markets to our historical landmarks, diverse cuisines, and colorful traditions, Nigeria eagerly awaits your discovery. At this juncture, I officially declare the 2025 African Women's Volleyball Championship Tournament open.
We are indeed glad that we have with us a distinguished African woman, providing inspiration for young women to break barriers while chasing their dreams. In Her Excellency, Distinguished Senator Oluremi Tinubu.
To the athletes, I encourage you to compete with passion, integrity, and respect for one another. Let this tournament be a celebration of excellence and the unbreakable bonds that sports create.
Host Nigerian Customs Service and Chief of Naval Staff Strikers are representatives of Nigeria in this year's tournament. The official opening game saw the Customs Lady go up against Maya of Cameroon in a battle of familiar rivals. The two-week championship ends on 14th July, with the top 2 teams qualifying automatically for the World Championship. In Abuja, Francisca Bile, NTA News.
Thank you, Francisca. Meanwhile, Bendel Insurance will battle Rangers International in Federation Cup Round 16 clash as the Nigeria Football Federation names release list of venues and dates for the fixtures. And in cricket, Nigeria Junior Yellow Greens grab first under-19 men's World Cup qualifiers win. Let's join our sports desk for details of this and more.
The Nigeria Football Federation has released the venues and dates for the round of 16 of the President's Federation Cup. All the matches will be played Wednesday, April 16. The headline fixture of the round between Bendel Insurance and Rangers International will hold at the Mobolaji Johnson Arena, Onikon, Lagos. The encounter is scheduled to start at 4 p.m. Four-time champions Enyimba will lock horns with Abakaliki FC at the Nnamdi Azikiwe Stadium, Enugu, while Ikorodu City will be up against Nigeria National League outfit Beyond Limits FA in a fixture at the Buhari Stadium in Abuja. The Prince Abubakar Audu University Stadium, Ayimba, will host the All-Nigerian Premier Football League MPFL encounter between Nasarawa United and Bayelsa United. Meanwhile, after 3 consecutive defeats have left their hopes of reaching the 2026 ICC Men Under-19 World Cup in jeopardy, the Junior Yellow Greens roared in a massive 177 runs win over Sierra Leone on Thursday. The Nigerian team had played their previous 3 games in Onikon, but moved to the Unilag Cricket Oval for their 4th game of the series. Nigeria will hope to play for pride when they take on Uganda in their last game of the series on Sunday.
And that concludes the news at 10 on NT News 24. Thank you for watching. I am Nolin Ebel Ahmed. See you at the top of the hour for the news update. Hello, here is the news update at 11. I am Nolene Ebel Ame. In the matter between Senator Natasha and the Nigerian Senate, the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court, Justice John Tehimba Tsoho, has reassigned the case to Justice Binta Nyako.